It's a redemption of some sorts.
Dheer wanted me to ask you a question about marriage. This is not coming from me. You believe in marriage, evidently, at least superficially. She's saying yes. No?
Marriage
He doesn't?
Marriage has a role to play.
Huh.
Marriage has a lot of role to play. Marriage has a role to play in terms of coming back to somebody. Marriage has a role to play in terms of building a family together. Marriage has a role. It gives you stability.
But you don't necessarily believe that it is right for other people. Not for your children, not for me. I don't know how Ronnie feels about marriage for his children, but how do you see the evolution of marriage?
I think it depends. Every individually is made different. But I think going back at home to somebody is an interesting. I think it's a fulfilling thing.
Do you do?
No. I think marriage, firstly, if you're talking about for your kids, I think each one has to be done. I think the day of a dad or a mom sitting down on a dinner table and say, if you marry this man, you'll be happy for the rest of your life is out of the question because there are no guarantees in life. So I think I'm very much each one to their own. I'm very happy that my daughter's married. I can't say I would have been equally happy if she wasn't married. As long as she was happy and involved with what she wanted to do, I don't think that would have been. It's always nice to have an anchor.
In a previous life, Ronnie was a politician. The diplomacy comes from another life.
No,
so I have to lean on KB to say nasty things.
It's not diplomacy because that's what, my daughter doesn't want to have kids. Now, right. I'd love to be a granddad, but I'm not going to be a granddad. I don't have any more than one daughter. So it's a question of acceptance and you move forward. So no, I don't think it's about diplomacy at all.
But you are a very diplomatic person.
No.
I think you're a diplomatic person to the T. Like you never say one. In the time that we've been here at Foundery, I have said a bunch of random shit. He has probably said me multiplied by 2. You have not said one thing really.
No, I think I'm very candid and blunt. What you see is what you get.
What is the most candid thing you said today? In the 15 hours of us spending time together.
When we said exit, keep or pass, I said exit in one line in that sense. And I think if this was, somebody has to go home or no, I'm taking the, I think with me, I think it's what you see is what you get.
Yeah, but you'll say exit. Like I would say something else and he would say something else. He would say, "Ye to murda lag raha hai, isko yahan pe kyun bita ke rakha hai?"
Yeah, but
I would say my version of it.
Yeah, but my Hindi is not so shuddh, so I will just stick with the word exit. No, but I have to say, no, I don't think I'm diplomatic. I think I may be a little bit, as I said, literally transparent and what you see is what you get.
Would your friends think you're diplomatic?
No, but they do say I'm quite actually blunt, but also reserved and quiet. So now when you go reserved and quiet, and if somebody's having a major discussion on Trump, I'm not participating in that conversation because it's kind of redundant. That may be diplomatic or not. I think I'm just
Let's try it one more time. What do you think of Trump?
What do I think of Trump? The first 1 year, I thought it was a good idea because the world needed unpredictability. I think everything was too well settled. And I think unpredictability is the core for leadership. As far as I'm concerned, it's really one of the prized virtues. If you're a little unpredictable, everyone's around on their toes in a good way. And I think he brought that. Then it just went south. So right now, it's in the deep south. Because, but I think when you go to a situation where you look at a self-interest of one nation versus everybody else, I think that's too extreme. And I think that's where the country...
Isn't every nation like that?
Sorry?
Isn't every nation like that?
No. I don't think... When you have power, that's the first biggest responsibility you have is to not show the power. And I think that's what most nations have done. There are enough nations that could use their power in a different manner. It's not like India is not super smart. If you sit down with the armed forces and whatever else, they feel they're as good and as strong as China on the border. But will we ever take the first step? No. Is that a diplomatic answer again?
Yeah.